Oh yeah, sexy biscuits. Nice.
Long was 1975. A YouTuber on the rise. Reviewing games late at night and sometimes friends. But Long Boys Bros 1975.
Hey YouTube, Numbers Post 1975, and welcome to, well, again, system overview is probably too strong a descriptive term for what this is. Welcome to a product overview. Welcome to a look at the Nintendo Game & Watch 35th Anniversary Legend of Zelda Game & Watch. I walked into that one. I am a little bit late to the party on this. This has been sat downstairs on my sideboard since launch. Excuse me. I pre-ordered this, I want to say last year, when the other one came out, which I also have and I actually really enjoy it. It's a very nice piece of kit for what it is, but we'll get to that with this. Kind of the same conclusion, even though I haven't opened this yet. But I think you know where I'm going. It's a collector's piece, isn't it? It's a very specific niche product. But I pre-ordered it, I'm probably going to say this year, and it was $44.99, which is really rather quite expensive for what it is, especially when you consider its price in North America, or at least from the videos I've watched on its price in the United States, which I believe is either $39 or $44, which, do you know what, why are we paying the same price or above and beyond when it comes to the value of the pound? I've noticed that a lot lately with some of these products, but it's not a specific product to North America. It's not like an import product. I pre-ordered it on Amazon. So yeah, it arrived at the start of the month, last month I should say, November. Unfortunately, it arrived on a Saturday during the daytime when I would have been in bed flipping my body clock back to working nights. And then I did a solid couple of weeks, I don't know why I'm telling you this, of solid overtime as a deal to buy myself, that's right, buy myself Boxing Day off over Christmas. So I didn't get to do a video on it because I really rather would have liked to have done one on day one like I did with this, or very much within the first week or so. But in order to celebrate the 35th anniversary of one of their most famous and popular IPs, Nintendo have gone the route of what they did with the Mario one, where they've made a Game & Watch. I do like the packaging on this. I'm amazed it's in one piece based on how Amazon sent this to me. They sent this to me in a cardboard sleeve. That was it, like you get a DVD in. No extra packaging whatsoever. So the fact that it's in such good nick is amazing. I have cut the plastic stickers in order to get the box out. But yeah, so obviously Zelda is one of their most famous IPs. But if you know me, you will know that, well, you won't, but I only completed the original one for the first time this year. I'd never ever played it before. Why have you bought this, you say, Dave? Well, that's simple, because I love shit like this. Shit like this is right up my alley. Is overpriced as it may be. Is it a practical way to play the game? No, but I'm sure it's perfectly you know, easy enough to do so, and it does feature save states. But yeah, so very late to playing The Legend of Zelda. See, I remember back in the day, because I was a massive Marvel comic book reader, specifically the Spectacular Spider-Man and Amazing Spider-Man and Web of Spider-Man. That's right about that time in the 80s. I do remember seeing the advert for it in the comic books and not really having any idea of what it was. And then it wasn't till Mean Machines, was it the official guide to consoles came out? And the second one was definitely in that review. The first one may have been in the actual pages of Mean Machines when it was just a couple of insert pages in the middle of CVG. But that's when I found out what it was, which is essentially an RPG-esque dungeon explorer type of game. And yeah, so don't ask me why. I think it was possibly because I was an absolute die-hard Sega fanboy that I never got the ability to play it, probably at least till the 90s, the late 90s, with emulation and stuff like that. and just never did. That's not to say I don't have, nostalgia attached to the IP, because I do. I do remember what a big deal The Legend of Zelda, which is the one on the SNES, A Link to a Past was, and I remember watching my brother play that absolutely loads. And I remember what a massive, massive deal Ocarina of Time was when it came out on the Nintendo 64. But I was a PlayStation boy, and I was caning the crap out of Final Fantasy VII. But I remember what a big deal it was. And I remember my older brother Jason, who had an N64, completed it and loved it, and still to this day raves about it. And I do actually have a near mint box copy now for my Nintendo 64. And I played it and I enjoy it now, but I never liked it back in the day. I just found the graphics kind of clunky, crude, and obviously N64 was basically smear of Vaseline on the inside of the camera lens, if you will. It's not until RGB, conversions and stuff like that came along years later that my love of the system grew slightly. Anyway, so yeah, then there was Majora's Mask that I just found confusing as hell. Just didn't get on with that. I think the first Zelda I absolutely fell in love with, and is still my favourite Zelda of all time, is Wind Waker on the GameCube, and I actually have the remastered HD version on excuse me, on my Wii U, and I absolutely love and adore that game. I remember being in Canada at the time, living there, and seeing the adverts for it, and then going to my local EB, and then talking to the people behind the counter, and hearing the backlash that the cell shaded style of graphics had caused, amongst people. It's only now that it's held so highly and loved so much. But yeah, that's my favourite Zelda of all time. So I'm very much a modern Zelda person. Then the game after that, Twilight Princess, I played that on my Wii. Never had the GameCube version. I played the Wii version. That was the one you could use the Twilight hack, wasn't it, to soft mod your Wii originally. And I really like that. I have the HD remaster of that on the Wii U. Played Skyward Sword. Absolutely love Skyward Sword. Thought that was an absolutely fantastic game. Own the Wii version, play it my Wii U, so it's in HD, but it's upscale because obviously the HD remaster is on the Switch. And then obviously Breath of the Wild, which I play on the Wii U. I know you're probably just saying buy a Switch. I don't want one. I really don't want one. I'm not saying they're bad, I just don't want one. But yeah, Breath of the Wild on the Wii U, which I completed, is just absolutely phenomenal and absolutely fantastic. I mean, might switch, maybe Switch Lite or something, because I want to play the sequel. Anyway, so old school Zelda games, never really had any interest in until early this year when I completed the first one, mainly thanks to using save states. But that aside, I do have a massive amount of nostalgia for it because of the Meme Machine books, CVG magazine in general, with the Meme Machine's inserts in the middle, and then the later on Meme Machine's full magazine before it split into Meme Machine Sega and Meme Machine's Nintendo. I always hated when they did that. I could understand why, but I do have nostalgia for it. I do recognise what an important game it is in creating a very much beloved franchise. So that's why I had this or purchased this, and also I love shit like this because I do like the fact that they've done it in they're celebrating two of their sort of iconic things here, a series of games, because I don't know what is next in this series of machines, but basically it's a license to print money, but also to celebrate their Game & Watch, because we'll read the case first, but the case looks like a very nice nod to Zelda with a picture of Game & Watch, and it says Game & Watch color screen, The Legend of Zelda. The background is the top-down world map, the actual game, to be fair. You can see a little link there, and then Nintendo 7 6 plus Russia. Apparently Russians mature quicker than us. Must be all the radiation. And then Game & Watch, picture of it with Zelda on the screen. And then if you look on the back, it shows you the functionality and the games that are available on here. So you get the NES ports of, well, it's emulation, isn't it? Zelda, then Legend of Zelda 2, The Adventure of Link. So apparently the first game, for him at least, wasn't an adventure. Then you get Legend of Zelda on Game Boy, which is Link's Awakening, but it's not the DX version, it's just the regular Game Boy, black and white version, which lots of people said, why didn't you put the DX version? I can understand putting it there on as an option, but if you had to go for one, because that's the first one that was released in line with the rest of these games, I would have put that one on there 2. Then you get a Game & Watch game, which is Vermin, but it's reskinned with Zelda. Lots of people complain about that, saying, I don't want it on there. It's a Game & Watch series. I like the fact that it's on there. Then you get a clock, which has got, you know, animated and functionality and stuff like that. Bunch of specific to the title screensavers, and there are a bunch of secrets in it, such as up on the first game upgrading your hearts and stuff like that straight away, so you know you have more health, and then on the second one upgrading your sword or something like that. I'm not going to tell you how to do that. It's all over the shop out there and pretty straightforward. I'm just going to give you a little overview of the system in my hands. But the best bit is this. I do really like this. So now we are just in Game & Watch Vermin, colour screen. It's still got the colour. The colour itself obviously is in line with Zelda, because that one's obviously red, in line with Mario. So do you know what? I don't know if there are any actual green Game & Watches back then, but I do like that. So you can display it either way. I'm actually going to be displaying it with, not that one, because that's Mario, with the sleeve actually on it, because I do like the way it looks. But I will be playing it. I will be playing it. So let's get into it. Got to be careful, because the boxes are quite fragile and I don't want creases. Ooh, oh look, special thanks to you. See, I do like shit like that as well. Right, let's get into it. Now, here's where they've addressed one of the issues from the previous one in a kind of goofy way, where they've all said, why did it come with a stand, like a little fold out, you know, stand or pin, you know, pencil thin stand or pin, look, you know, lever on the back, so you can stand it up and use it as a clock. Are you actually going to use it as a clock? Because you're going to be forever charging it. So what they did was they built a stand into the actual box. I do know this because I have watched a few videos on it, but I'm not going to open that, because I mean, I want it to go back in the box. I think it's better to be displayed in the box, and who wants to use it as a genuine clock? I can see keeping this in decent nick and, you know, maybe gaming on this, probably in your house. I'm not taking it into the wild, but if you want to, you can fold that out and use it as a stand, and obviously you got the Triforce there. I'm not going to be doing that. You've got instructions. It's a sheet of paper. It just explains stuff like basic functionalities, I understand, and how you charge it. So because forever getting these back folded up perfectly, so they fit in the box and don't crease, is beyond me. I'm not opening that either. There you go. In case you're interested, there are the instructions on how to open the display piece up to display. I guess it's kind of nice. But for me, I think you possibly would have put a stand on, whether it ruined the aesthetics or not. There is a USB-C cable in there, and it's only for charge. You cannot transfer any data or information. Since this one was hackable, you didn't do it, and I'm not hacking it, you didn't do it with a USB-C cable, allegedly. But that's in there, and I'm keeping that in pristine nick and stuff like that. I do like this nice little padded baggie. Let's look at the unit itself. So there you go. It's very nice. I do like the colour is a lot more fierce green. I wouldn't say neon green than I thought it was. And this here is actually glow in the dark. I don't know if it's gonna glow because of the fact that this has just been sat in a box. You know, because don't these things have a mild amount of radiation and they need to absorb some sort of light? We can have a look. Apparently not. Anyway, I'm sure it does. I'm sure people have not lied. So anyway, Game & Watch, it is a nice D-pad, as was the other one. People have complained about it. I find it, you know, a generally not bad D-pad. Nice solid plastic feel to it, nice and clicky, but not cheap plastic. The buttons are a bit rubbery because, well, I think they are a bit rubbery. And then you have a select, a start, then above that you have game, time, and pause, start. It's been a while, so I can't remember how you do your save states. So let's turn it on. So obviously it's got a built-in battery, as I said, because it's got a USB-C there, and then you've got power on there, and then is that your speaker? I don't know. There's no volume rocker. You do your speaker within the actual unit. So let's turn it on. There you go. There's a screensaver. So, anyway, as I said, I've played the Mario one a ton. Is this the way to play Zelda? Probably not, but it is probably more than playable on here. I mean, let's be honest, I have watches that could emulate a NES. Asking us to do time. Select. Right, there we go. So, this is a screensaver, I believe. Yeah, because you can see I haven't set the time, but the time is in the top right hand corner, or maybe I have set the time and it just happens to be 12 o'clock midday. But yeah, so this is actually, you know, not the game, it's a screensaver. So that's time, and then if we press game, we go into a menu that shows you all the games. I'm not going to show you a massive gameplay of each game, but I am going to show you each game, and I'm assuming according to what game you're in, could be wrong, is what you get when it comes to the screensaver. So I've just gone into, let's go back to game timer. There's a timer at the bottom, and if you look, you can actually move around and do stuff in the timer. That's kind of cool. It's just the one screen. It just, you know, Tom and Jerry's or Scooby-Doo corridor running scene, if you know what I mean, from the left to the right. Why am I trying so hard to kill this thing? And then random stuff just spawns. But that's nice, I do like that. Attention to detail, a little bit of fun. Screen, I mean, I was expecting the screen to be good, because the screen on this one is absolutely fantastic. And I'm pretty sure this is exactly the same unit in any way whatsoever, except it's basically different menu and a different bunch of games on a chip. The sound, how do we do? Sorry, Windy Pops. I've just had dinner. Time. Pause, set. There you go. Pause, set, and then you get your information. So, volume. I'm going to keep it as it is, but there is your brightness. So you go and pause and set to do that. And then reset timer. Reset timer. Yes. I don't know if anyone's going to use it as a timer, but there you go. So, you know what? It's not massively heavy, but it does feel really, you know, rather nicely built. I think that is metal. I do like the colour. Oh, I can see it. I can kind of see it. You probably can't, because it's a camera thing. But I can see that, especially when I get right tight like that, and it does actually glow in the dark. So, I mean, that's a very, very nice piece of attention to detail there. I do like stuff like that. That's what I mean. You know, I just love stuff like this, and like attention to detail. Anyway, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my camcorder. I'm looking up there because that's where my camcorder is, and I'm going to see if I can capture a little bit of information that your battery is top left. I don't know how long that will last, but I am quite impressed. It comes with charge out of the box, as did the last one. But I'm going to show you a little bit of each game. So you can kind of get an idea of what it looks like on the screen, but obviously I'll be capturing it with a camcorder. So let's jump to it. Okay, so obviously because the way I'm capturing it, you really can't see how good the screen looks, but it looks absolutely phenomenal. So let's go with game. We'll go with the original Zelda. Try that again. Hey, it remembers. The last thing you did, it remembers. Look, you can change language if you press start, and you press A to get into it. Also, the sound on this, the speakers are really actually quite good. I believe it's stereo. I don't know. I honestly don't know. Right. If you hold A down, is that how you get yourself more hearts? I don't know. I don't want to register my name. I am the nameless warrior. There we go. I mean, you would expect it to be able to emulate this. As I said, I have calculators that can emulate this. Right, hang on. Is it in here we go for the sword? Hold down A. I can't remember. You can find the cheats or the upgrades if you want. So you start off with extra hearts and stuff like that. It's dangerous to go. I know. Tell me about it. I mean, I'd give someone I'd never met before, you know, a weapon that could kill me, wouldn't you? What a trusting world this is. You know, random tangent, I never saw the Zelda cartoon until I was an adult. And I mean like my mid-20s. So as you would expect, it plays it fine. Now, obviously, as I said, I have nostalgia for it because of the comics and stuff like that. But if you have nostalgia for the game, then I'd imagine this form factor as well would be absolutely phenomenal. Obviously, it's the type of game that it is. I don't know why I'm trying so hard. The type of game that it is. I can't, just showing a little bit of it like this does not do it justice, right? How do... There we go, back to menu. Look, the screensaver has changed. I can't remember how to do save states, but like I said, this is just a little bit of an overview. You know, go to a more polished channel if you want that. I do remember the controversy that this caused, specifically amongst the reviewers reading it in C4G meme machines about, wait, you've changed the style of game. We don't want that. I didn't sign on board for this. It's funny, people were just as finicky back then as they are now. Also, this is quite a bit different, isn't it, on how it looks? Because this I have not completed. This I haven't even touched. So maybe that will be the game on this that I will use it for. Funny thing is, right, so yeah, you got your overworld, and then in combat you go into this mode. Like I said, I don't know, I haven't... Oh, turn around. Never really played this game, but yeah. But yeah, everyone, you know, went like, what do you mean it's side-on? We want it very much like the first. There is a, obviously, map, stuff like that. This is, I mean, not really for me to say much about, because I, again, have nostalgia for this, because I remember the adverts, but I never played it back in the day. But like I said, I am aware of, you know, everyone like being, well, why would you change it? I get that, but also I get that you're trying to mix things up. There is a little bit of, maybe it's the angle on that because I've got a tripod sat down, but when I move the screen there is a little bit of the, kind of like when you actually play a genuine NES game on your NES Classic. A little bit, you stop moving and it changes colour. Right, let's go back to game. So this one, as I said, again, you can change language if you want. This one, everyone said, why didn't you put the colour version on? Again, maybe put them both on. I fully understand that. But to me, since this would have been the first version release and would have been more in line with the other ones on here, I can kind of get why they put that on here. But then to be fair, there is no excuse for not putting both on here. That's just the way my brain works. Now this, to many, many, many people, is their favourite Zelda game, isn't it? Oh, so what was the... I can't remember. I played about halfway through. Screen is phenomenal, honestly. Phenomenals, I should say. I played... What was the one on the 3DS I played, where with the train and stuff? Done like a Link to the Past, kinda, but I don't know. Right. There we go. Since I had a Game Boy back in the day and not a Game Boy Color, I have one now as an adult, this to me would be the way to play it, honestly. I would have more nostalgia for this. It's such a good looking screen, absolutely no problem whatsoever reading that. And again, as I said, the sound, it's brilliant. Take it all in. I'm sure it'll come to something later. See, I haven't looked yet, but if you allegedly hack this, I do wonder, I mean, what else? I don't even know what's in this. It can run for by way of putting maybe, you know, the SNES, A Link to the Past on it, which is something I do intend to play because I have a SNES Classic as well. I don't even know what that is. Oh, diagonals. Yeah, the D-pad is really, really nice. The D-pad is really responsive. It's a little shallow, but to be fair, that's in line with, you know, the Game & Watch. As I said, this is kind of not just, you know, a celebration of, you know, and some nostalgia for the games itself, but it's also a 2-in-1 celebration for the Game & Watch, which you could argue, if there wasn't, never would have been a Game Boy, and led to like kind of some of the earliest portable gaming. Decent portable gaming. Again, the sound on this is fantastic. We may as well have a look at Vermin, which is... Sorry, it's rocking on the floor. I've got you some pads, you know what you stick posters to the wall on to stop it from moving. Game A, Game B. So Game A is what? Original? Oh, you got a whack-a-mole. Which you just do by going left and right. How far we've come. I've got Zelda's head on there, haven't I? Wow, he's lost weight. Alright, so what is it? No. Obviously there's your pause. Come on, game. How do I reset? I don't know how to reset. Yes. There you go. You reset, funnily enough, by pressing reset. So it's just a faster version of the game. Well, there you go. This is just me showing you a little bit of what it looks like, trying to capture it with my camcorder to give you some indication of, you know, how well it plays and what the screen looks like. But take it from me, the screen looks absolutely phenomenal, and just in this quick go, as you would expect, it seems to emulate it absolutely fine. So let's round up. So there we have it, the 35th anniversary Nintendo Legend of Zelda Game & Watch. Quickly, I just want to say that does glow. Hang on, I'll explain it better when I've dimmed the lights a bit. And there you go, in case anyone doubted me, no, it doesn't glow in the dark. That's actually to do with when the unit is powered on. So that's kind of cool. That's an actual light, or to be fair, it's probably just the back of the screen. But still, again, a nice touch. So that's kind of really cool little addition there. There was no reason for them to have to do that, but I do like it. So anyway, the build quality is absolutely bang on the money. The D-pad's very responsive, as are the buttons. Is this the ideal way to play these games? As I mentioned, possibly not. Well, certainly not. There are a whole bunch of other ways to play these games, but it is fully functional as a handheld for these games. You could do it. So, you know, I do like the sound quality is absolutely fantastic. There are sort of, you know, a couple of hidden Easter eggs and things like that in here. Practical clock? No, not really. The Vermin game, it's a nice touch just to keep it connected to its roots, which is, it is a Game & Watch game. But yeah, basically though, like, oh, and the screen is absolutely fantastic. I don't know what size it is. Is it 3 inches, 2.7, something like that? As I said, this is just a goofy little overview. But should you buy it, basically that comes down to how much you genuinely like these games, or in my case, how much you genuinely have nostalgia for, you know, the Legend of Zelda, or do you like little niche kind of, you know, collectible display pieces like this? Because that is essentially what this is. Also, what it is, elephant in the room time, is it is overpriced. I'm not going to lie. I like this. I would have bought it anyway, but $44.99. Basically, this is half a ton. Half a ton to play 3 Zelda games. I mean, it's very expensive. Is it going to go up in value? Is it going to be rare or anything like that? I sincerely doubt this, because as we speak, which is the 6th of December, these things are still all over Amazon, and I'm pretty sure you can still get these there. But like I said, I like them. The packaging is absolutely fantastic. I can see why they didn't put a stand on it, and I'm kind of for that. So that's why they gave you a stand in the box, but I personally would not use that, because I like all my stuff to stay minty fresh. Even though the inside of this is never ever going to be displayed. That's not the point. I'm just, you know, a sucker for stuff like that. But yeah, so is it worth buying? If you don't genuinely mind dropping what I think is really quite a high price for this. I thought it was a high price on the Mario one, but this, and the fact that it's cheaper in dollars, as in, if you normally you would take these products and they would be You know, like the pound one would be cheaper than the dollar price tag because of the exchange rate and stuff like that. No, from what I can tell in this case, they're on a par, which is wrong, or this might even be more expensive in pounds compared to dollars pre-adjustment for the exchange rate, which to me is an absolute piss take, because it's not an import product or, you know, specific to a certain bunch of countries and not the UK. So basically, do you like Zelda? Do you like cool, nifty little, you know, display pieces? Something to, you know, show to your mates. Something that is genuinely, you know, it is perfectly playable and not the best way to play it, but it certainly is practical. Then I would say, yeah. I mean, that ticks. Sorry, all those boxes are ticked for me because I absolutely love stuff like that. But I could immediately hear people saying it's too expensive. So anyway, Nintendo's Game & Watch the 35th anniversary of The Legend of Zelda, with the first 2 Zelda games from the NES and the first one for the Game Boy. Should have mentioned that probably before now, could have put the SNES one on here, but then obviously at some point are we going to get to anniversary editions of games for the SNES, in which case you would want these to be SNES specific only games. Obviously it'll be a few years before you get to that one, 35th anniversary. The point being, you probably want a secondary line of these, or you want ones that are SNES games only, if that makes sense, and then maybe put the Game Boy Advance or the Game Boy Color on. It's the handheld, you know, edition of the game. I don't know, it depends. I heard that they were going to do Kirby next. Sounds very awkward like that when I say it like that. But anyway, so yeah, I'm more than happy with this, but I can see that some people might complain that it's a tad expensive. Anyway, apologies that I was quite late to the party on this. I'd love to know what you think, especially if you have one of these, if you have the original Mario one, or you just enjoy collecting stuff like this in general. And what do you think should be the next thing Nintendo break out as an anniversary? Obviously, the age of the IP, you know, makes that. Sorry, this is somewhat dependent on that. But as always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you later.